Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's slate on Wednesday, April the 12th. Once again, on Wednesday, we have two games tonight. It is, kind of like the second day of the play-in tournament. We have the 9 and 10 seeds playing each other. So we have the Raptors and the Bulls playing, and then we have the Pelicans and the Thunder playing. These are win or go home games. So basically, the winner of this game, of these two games, will play again on Friday night, and then the loser of these games, your season's over if you lose. So these are going to be some really important games. I think we can expect really condensed rotations, really heavy minutes for a lot of the main guys, and we're going to talk about two player props that I do like for this Wednesday slate for these two games. As always, guys, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you have never checked them out before, you can sign up for Prizepicks and use my promo code Noah. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. And do want to give a shout out to Prizepicks because they've added a lot of new props for the NBA kind of postseason. Since we are heading into the postseason, we're not going to have as many games each day. It's going to be a little bit tougher to find a ton of props to play. But Prizepicks, doing their best, trying to add some new stat types. So you have dunks on Prizepicks now. You can take over, under on how many dunks a player is going to have. Field goals attempted, personal fouls. These are all new stat types that Prizepicks added that I don't think any other sports book or any other site has. So pretty cool. You guys definitely can check it out, see all the props they have available though. If you guys, again, are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, use that code Noah. When you sign up, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through the two props I do like for these Wednesday games. Once again, we're going to talk about two fantasy score props I like for today. Going to have a play from each game. So we'll start off in the Bulls and Raptors game. And I want to talk about Zach LaVine's fantasy score. It sits at 37.5 on Prizepicks. And I do like the over here for Zach LaVine. I think when you look at this spot against the Raptors, I expect this to be a pretty tough spot for DeMar DeRozan. We've seen DeMar DeRozan really struggle against the Raptors this season. A lot of his worst games have come against Toronto, and I think a lot of that has been due to the fact that he's been guarded by OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is a really good defender, one of the better defenders in the league. This Raptors team as a whole is a very good defensive team, but when you're looking at kind of matchups individually, I think LaVine probably draws the best matchup here, and with this being a win or go home game, I'm expecting very, very heavy minutes for Zach LaVine, for DeMar DeRozan, for Nikola Vucevic. I'd be surprised if LaVine plays less than 40 minutes. I think there's a very good chance he plays 40 minutes, 41 minutes, 42 minutes if this game is competitive. And Zach LaVine, this season, he's averaged well over a fantasy point per minute. More times than not, if he's playing 40-plus minutes, he's going to go over 37.5 fantasy score. So I do like the over here for Zach LaVine. You take a look at LaVine's game log this season against the Raptors. He's played two games against them. One game, he put up 42.1 fantasy points in just 32 minutes. Another game, he put up 27.9 fantasy points in that one. But again, I think the matchup here for LaVine's a little bit better than DeRozan. I expect huge, huge minutes for LaVine. And if we're going to get 40 minutes from LaVine, I mean, you look at the games he's played 40 minutes this season. He's actually played 13 games this season with at least 40 minutes. Of those 13 games, LaVine is over this fantasy score line in 10 out of 13. There's only been 3 games out of 13 this year where he's played 40-plus minutes and not gotten to 37.5 fantasy score. He had 31.4 against Milwaukee. He had 31.5 against Memphis. And then he had 36.5 against the Knicks. Worth noting, some of those games were kind of like poor shooting games. Shot 8 for 18 against Milwaukee, 6 for 13 against Memphis, 11 for 23 against the Knicks. But we know the usage, the volume, the opportunity is going to be there for LaVine. He's going to be one of the top options, offensively for this Bulls team. I'm expecting DeRozan to kind of struggle here. I think this definitely sets up as a better spot for Zach LaVine. So give me the over on 37.5 fantasy score for him. And then the other play that I like, we're going to go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 51.5 fantasy score. It's a pretty high line, but I think it's warranted here for SGA, and I'm expecting huge, huge minutes for SGA here as well. Again, win or go home. I'm expecting SGA to play about 40 minutes, and he's obviously been a great point-per-minute player this season. I believe he's averaging around 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Look over his last 5 games. He's only gone over this line in 2 out of his last 5, but this is just a totally different scenario today in a must-win game. Minutes are going to be elevated here, and SGA has done really well against the Pelicans this season. He's had 2 really big games against them, and it's kind of surprising because the Pelicans do have some pretty good one-on-one defenders. One of those guys being Herb Jones, who's a really good defender, but SGA has done really well against Herb Jones this season. He's had 2 great games against the Pelicans. One game he put up 72 fantasy points 44 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. There was another game against the Pelicans where he put up 59.2 fantasy points, 35 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and a block. And then he did have a game where he put up 43.2 fantasy points, but he also had 7 turnovers in that game, which I think is definitely a little bit of an outlier. And then there was another game where he put up 40.5 fantasy points, also had 6 turnovers in that game, plus he shot 8 for 21. And the game where he put up 43 fantasy points, not only did he have 7 turnovers in that game, but he also shot 7 for 21. So 2 very poor shooting games are kind of, I would say is a large reason why he went under in those 2 games. But the other 2 games, SGA crushed 59 and 72 fantasy points. We've seen SGA be a great permanent producer this season. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything when he's on the floor. Obviously, scoring is where he's going to get a large portion of his fantasy points, but he can also rebound, he can also get assists, and he's been really, really good at getting defensive stats. We've seen him have games where he gets 3-4 steals. I'm pretty sure in terms of like steals per game, I think he's towards the top of the league in steals per game this season. So he can rack up those defensive stats, which are worth 3 points each. Those are very huge, for Prizepicks fantasy score system. But I like the matchup here for SGA. I think this is going to be a relatively fast-paced, high-scoring game, and I'm expecting huge minutes for SGA. I think 40-plus minutes is definitely in the range of outcomes. And if you look at SGA this season, he's actually played 6 games where he's had 40-plus minutes. Of those 6 games, he is over this fantasy score line in every single game. The games where he's played 40-plus minutes this season, he's had 72, 66.1, 64.7, 63.9, 52.1, and 51.8 fantasy points. So, yeah, definitely like this spot for SGA. I think the usage, the role's great. The minutes are going to be through the roof. I think he's got a good chance of going over this 51.5 fantasy score. I know the line does feel pretty high, but I think it is warranted for a guy like SGA. So, these are 2 props that I do like for these Wednesday games, guys. These should be 2 fun ones again. Hopefully we get some competitive games. I'm excited to watch these, and hopefully, obviously, we can catch these 2 picks. But appreciate you guys watching the videos as always. If you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, again, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you guys do want more Prizepicks plays from me, I do give out additional Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. You can check that out. Link down below in the description. You can see all that I do provide over on Patreon. And if you guys are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you can sign up for Prizepicks and use my promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Wish you the best of luck on this Wednesday slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, we can all win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.